So, the arguments I presented were not really felt and not really understood by most people. And I understand why. Because I hardly understand them when coming back at them twice. And at the time, they're very understandable. And that's the problem with this concept base I'm working with, is that when I'm looking at an issue, we have different things. For example, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is advent against avarice in my context here. And to be advent against avarice, you're taking large stakes. And these large stakes are hunted down and hunted. And the way we hunt these stakes is by essentially looking at who it is we're talking about. And why do we hunt down these stakes? Well, we hunt down these stakes because we're risking ourselves with every moment, every second. And by risking ourselves, I mean by being an advocate of truth, by being an advocate of any concept or variation of concepts, we are risking and putting ourselves at risk of criticism, of contentions, and or of um, even qualitative basis in some instances for some people. So when I look at Bruce Lee, I do not want to. I want to vibe with that more so. I want to vibe with who Bruce Lee is and what kind of things he advocated. So, um, when I'm speaking about this kind of stuff, I note that like I said, I don't know really what I'm talking about, but I do know what I'm talking about when I'm in the moment. And that's part of the whole deal. When you're in the moment, you perceive different essences in different lights. So, um, when I basically put those up, I am showing that Bruce Lee is then prevalent. Um, so, and when Bruce Lee is prevalent, avarice is dead. Therefore, the king is dethroned. Therefore, the onslaughts of the good. Therefore, put you on game. And all these things kind of line up in those orders. So, that's kind of what I'm working with. And when one thing is connecting to the next, to the next, to the next, these connections is the patterns that go on in my head. So oftentimes when I'm going through a trip or when I'm going through an extensive psychological ramification of my own, I see different coordinates coming off and on. So someone will scratch your head, and that will appear in my head to be lice. So in my head, they're scratching their head because they have lice. Lice means something that is degenerative, something that is bad. So what they're speaking is then going to be bad, whether it's good or not. When they scratch your head, lice, degenerative. Um, and to view things in this way is an interesting proposition. Um, it's an interesting thing to look at, in my opinion. So what I'm trying to do is show people that you could connect things without just words, and when you connect things without just words, certain things pop up. And when you connect things with words, other things do pop up as well. So, for example, when I bring up No Church in the Wilds, you could probably refer that to Kanye West and Jay-Z. You could refer that to the main quote within that, which I'm exemplifying in one of my videos, which is to say that what is a man to a god? What is a god? What is a man to a king? What is a king to a god? What is a god to a non-believer? And so, what are these things? I mean, what is this to that, this to that, this to that? And so, why do we have these things? I don't know. Yet they are existent. Um, so To note that they're existent is to note that they have some kind of property of their own, and that property is of their own. That property is of their own. So, how do we take that? We take that to the non-believers, and to the non-believers, we hold then higher contentions against the advocate of the crown, which would then advocate higher contentions against the mass, which would then advocate for Bruce Lee in a way with the crown itself. So the crown, which is kind of like Lupe's words himself, if you listen to him, he kind of talks about being a king, throwing his crown in the air, hoping it lands on the air. So with those things, we have different examples of what it means in different scenarios, and what we mean by different things in what scenarios we're actually speaking about, when we're speaking about them, and how we're speaking about them. And how we're speaking about them sometimes varies on time and place. What we're speaking about varies on time and place. So, Bruce Lee is probably more felt by me in that respect when you tie up all the words together. But at the same time, I do see that there is a hierarchy. And that hierarchy is existent, but I still believe in a God. So I'm taking a stake there. And, which could also hunt down, by the way. It's not just hunted down. So, just to note that. And so, with those stakes, I am making my analogies to advocate different sets of rules, and these sets of rules are what we're playing with now. And these rules that we're playing with are more in line with a game than it is with emotion. So when I'm feeling this game, when we're playing this game, we see then that we cannot do one without the other. I had a conversation yesterday about that. That's why I brought that up. So, and when that game is played, when the word games are played, we have different seats that we sit on. And these different seats we sit on hold different ranks. So, to have a lot of avarice would put you on a high rank because you want to own your words. You want to own these things, and you want to feel these things. When you have a lot of fear, it puts you in a rank because you want to either invoke fear or give fear back. And to do so, we would allow ourselves to see why did he just say that way? Or how is he saying this? Or why is he saying this? And so